Three different phones. If I didn't tell you guys which one is which, would you guys be able to tell which one is the K20 Pro? It's funny. This guy, at $360, is rocking all the latest flagship specs, but with a very affordable price range. So what really makes this guy different from others? Let's find out. Alright, let's do a quick specs run through. We have a 6.39-inch Super AMOLED display, triple camera setup with a 48 megapixel primary sensor and a 13 megapixel ultra wide angle and an 8 megapixel telephoto lens. A pop-up camera module with LED lights, Snapdragon 855, in-display fingerprint sensor, a 4000 mAh battery with 27 watt fast charge, and a 3.5mm headphone jack. After saying all of that, I would say what really differs between this guy and OnePlus 7 Pro and Oppo Reno, all other flagships, is its cost effectiveness, or how worth it is for the money you're spending to get it. Other phones within the same price range include the Lenovo Z6 Pro, the OnePlus 7, and Oppo Reno. Aside from the Z6 Pro, you'd get the same full-screen experience with no notches whatsoever. And it's true. Once you go full display, the notch becomes a thing of yesterday. Okay, cheesy rhymes aside, but you see my point. 2340 x 1080p resolution is pretty much a standard now for all of these manufacturers, right? The really big difference between all of their screens is really the color calibration that they all offer. Take ZUI for example. The MIUI actually looks quite a lot like the ZUI in terms of color temperature and calibration. I mean, if we don't look at app designs, it's kind of hard to distinguish between the two. I mean, look at the font, it's even quite close to each other. You can even set the buttons on the side to be the same. So obviously you can tell that the OnePlus 7 Pro has a crisper and more refined display when it comes to detail. But then again, you'll be paying double for what you're getting. And when it comes to the Redmi, it's obviously falling a little short on that front, but it's very, very affordable with a great viewing experience, as you can see. The K20 Pro comes in Glacier Blue, Carbon Black, and Flame Red. This is obviously a very different and new fiery design to distinguish themselves from others, and I think it's working. This sort of design may not be for everybody, but to each his own. Some may think it's messy, others may think it's, kind of cool. I don't know. Depends on you guys. Having a curved glass design is nothing new anymore. I mean, it's comfortable, it's good to hold, it's good to look at. They also managed to thin down that camera bump quite a lot. It's nothing like the Xiaomi Mi 9 thick camera bump. It's sort of comparable to the Oppo Reno, even though theirs is completely flattened down and part of the whole glass back cover. But I mean, they had to sacrifice for size because of it. So all in all, it's got a great new design, it's a good hand size and good hand feel too. If you compare it to like a iPhone 7 Plus, I mean, they're relatively the same size, but just look at the screen. Thanks to the screen, it looks so much bigger and just so much more worth it to get. With MIUI, it's not surprising that the camera design is just like Xiaomi's. So it has a super wide angle lens, regular lens, and up to 2x optical zoom. So on the spec sheet, the super wide angle actually is 6 degrees higher than the Xiaomi Mi 9's wide angle. So it'll come in handy when you're trying to, take a group picture. And it's a little dark today, so I'm gonna turn up the brightness a little bit. That's a good one. Okay. Here we go. After the 2x optical zoom, Redmi K20 Pro can go up to 10x digital zoom. And I mean, after that, they don't do anything crazy like 50x or 60x because, well, first off, it's just not necessary. And second, everything is blurry anyway. I mean, at 10, it's already bad enough. So at 50, I don't know. Is it really necessary or even worth it? One of the great things that I've noticed that they improved on is the fact that when you zoom, it actually doesn't lag as much anymore. It's actually pretty smooth when you zoom. You know how, like before, they used to have that, very, very, very obvious spike that when you zoom in and out. But right now they actually fixed that. It's a lot better. Only thing is that it doesn't have that haptic vibration that, the Oppo Reno has. That's really precise on the Reno, but this guy, well, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but I still really like it. Okay, let's take a look at some sample shots. I'd say the K20 Pro does a pretty good job overall. The regular 48 megapixel wide-angle lens is capable in taking most still shots, and edge distortion treatment is done pretty well too. Even on bad days where there's not enough sunlight coming through, the general outline of dark clouds are true to life. Here is what it looks like in regular mode. And here's 2x zoom. The K20 Pro doesn't over-sharpen images and gives the pictures a more natural rendition with enough detail and saturation. And color-wise, I'd say the K20 Pro's colors look more vivid and warm. You can see a clear contrast between soil and plants over here. And it might be an algorithms thing, but the wider the angles go, the more saturated the colors seem to look. But really, these are just my thoughts. I'd say the K20 Pro gets around an 8 out of 10 in overall scoring. When it comes to recording videos, I'd say the K20 Pro offers a pretty full package for what you're paying. It supports up to 4K video shooting between 30 and 60 FPS and up to 960 FPS slow motion. That's pretty mad. So it seems like after the Reno, everyone's going for that full display using a pop-up camera module. I guess Chinese companies really do compete hard against each other to, come up with these different designs. Alright, so right away we see this camera module has blue LED lights on the sides when it's raised. I mean, it kind of looks alright, and it still has that self-retracting mechanism, so that's a good thing. Let's try it again. Yeah, not bad. It's running MIUI 10 and looks exactly like the regular Xiaomi designs. And for some reasons, I don't really know, the gestures feel really, really smooth, but maybe this is just because it's new, but I don't know, I'm getting this really smooth feeling like on this phone. Performance-wise, I didn't really have a problem with gaming on this device. It was smooth, everything is great, it can run things on high graphics. Only thing I noticed was that it does heat up because it doesn't really have like a really great cooling system. So it was bound to happen, but I mean, it wasn't to a point where it was super uncomfortable. 10 minutes of charge time gives you about 15% on the battery from zero. At about half an hour, you get about 45%. So with a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, that's more than enough for an average user. Alright, so that's about it for the Redmi K20 Pro, a well-rounded flagship at about $360 US. It's got very, very good specs, but as we all know, specs aren't everything. It's also about how well the system and the OS is optimized. So, I mean, aside from that, my verdict is pretty good on this guy so far, okay? So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. And we are giving this phone away to one of you. So please, as usual, follow the link down below, okay? So subscribe to our channel, and thanks for watching. I will see you guys next time. It's funny, huh?